You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Hello, I tell you what, fuck all's going right tonight, I'll tell you. Here we go. If I press the right one, this might work. Yay, there we go. There we go indeed. Oh my God. 4-0. Look, cheers everybody. Have a good one. Has anybody seen Leeds United? I think not. Mel B, Corin Baylor-Ray, Matthew Lewis, Nicola Adams, Marco Pierre-White, Alex Zane, Erling Haaland, Johnny Brownlee, John Lancaster. Your boys took a hell of a beating tonight. You are not going up as things stand at the moment. Cheryl Walker, Gerald Kaufman, E.R. Edison. I don't know who he is, but he was born in Leeds as well. Tom Taweo. Who? Barney Gibson. Yeah, all these people were born in Leeds. Gabby Logan, Calvin Phillips, Jack Shepherd, Charlie Heaton. Your boys were absolutely shit tonight, and you got what you deserved. We are going up. And I'm going to go straight over now to our studio correspondent to tell us what's happening there over at Leeds. Can you give us some news? Gentlemen, good evening. Oh, thank you. Let me just try and organise myself. I've no fucking idea what's going on here. There we go. There we are. Nice and big. Took the Viagra. Welcome back. It's nice to see you both. Premier League. Yes. I thought we'd cocked it up, but we haven't. Has anybody seen Leeds United? Where are they? Bottling it. Buy down the bottle. Have a look. Have a look under your pillow. Have a look under your settee. Where are they? Where are all those fucking fans coming onto my channel and saying that we'd bottled it? They were top for 2 weeks because of an international break by 1 goal. That's the only way they were top. 1 goal difference. And they were the best team in the league. Well, you're not at the moment. You are not at the moment. And what happened last night, you won't even be the second team in the league. I'm pissed. I'm high on happiness. Doug, what the fuck were Leeds doing tonight?
Oh, they're taken to the cleaners, mate. We did say at the start. We did say at the start of the evening that QPR would be well up for this. My goodness me, what a win for them! Absolutely taking Leeds to the cleaners tonight.
Not only to the cleaners, Don. Who's Don? Not only to the cleaners, they were actually rinsed tonight as well. Hung out and dried, the whole lot.
That's it. Hook, line and sinker, job done. Massive game for QPR as well. I think a lot of people put pressure on Leeds to try and get something, but QPR needed that win to help them in their survival for safety as well. So big result behind a big packed out crowd at Loftus Road. And it's nothing better than seeing Leeds bottle it. How's it go again, Chris? Who are Leeds? Leeds
I have to
United.
say, that was pinched off the sports bar. Brad's trying to get in. It's not working at the moment. Oh, yes, it is. Here he is. Let's bring him in. Brad, I'm not used to having all these people in. Let me just get rid of that. And then if I get rid of the comments, Brad, I'm just high. I mean, have you seen any Leeds fans around? Have a look out your curtains. Are they outside at all?
No, but I'll tell you where they are. I'll tell you exactly where they are. They're with the Tottenham fans still trying to catch us. That's where they are, sat back
I'll tell you
there
one thing,
with the
Brad.
white boy.
Brad, I'm gonna join you, mate. Hold on a minute.
Hey, the Uddy gang! We got an Uddy gang! Love it,
Yeah,
guys.
no,
Love
yeah,
it.
no.
We've got the same one on. Get in.
Get in, lad.
Silent dance
dear.
finest.
I am music junkie. Brad, look, I mean, I was doing this in the background while the show was on. I'm thinking, I hope I'm not jinxing it, but I didn't do it till it was 3-0, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, you know, even if they get 1 or 2, but you just never know with this division, do you, Brad?
No, you don't. And we have to remember, you know, as joyful as we are now and as happy as we are, you know, the 2 months ago we were sat here going, oh God, we actually are going to bottle this lead. We're going to actually third, second, that's going to be the aim. Someone like Ipswich or Leeds are going to run away with it. And here we are, Chris, having the most casual, well, you weren't, you were doing a watch on, but having the most casuals of evenings, not really bothered if Leeds balls up or not. And here we are. I said before we kick the ball, we might be promoted, and here we are. Can't believe it.
Oh God, honestly unbelievable. I've got to do it. I do it every time. I did it earlier. I know. I'm fucking lost for words. I'm absolutely lost for words. I know that Doug loves it when I do this. Adele's in. Hello. Come on. You missed this. You'll have this back next season. Well, hopefully you will, Dan. I don't know. But has anyone seen Leeds United? Good. Just finally, very quickly aside. I'm bad with names like Doug. You got a new manager by the look of it.
Yes, we do. As I said to a few people, I'm just going to enjoy the last sort of 4 games with Jurgen Klopp, and then obviously this new Dutchman comes in as well. And all we have to do is literally get behind them. That's the main thing to say about that. I see loads of people are writing him off already, which is really, really harsh. But it's a gamble, but we'll wait and see what happens. Jurgen Klopp was a gamble. And look where that took him, but no, we'll see what happens. But as I said, I'm going to enjoy the last 4 games with Jurgen Klopp's tenure.
Kate, hello, my favourite. Well, in my top 3 favourite women called Kate. I'm not going to say that I only know 3 women called Kate, but I do. But you're definitely in there, Kate. How are you doing? I hope you've been looking after Dan and stopping him pissing in the corner again. I hope he's stopped. I hope he's grown out of that. But yeah, thanks a lot. Look, Dan, we're going to play you next season.
I hope so. I think we're going to keep this party going, keep the good news coming to Leicester, and knock Forest out of the Premier League. How's that for you? Get in.
I'm all for it, Dan. All for it, mate.
I've got to say, in fairness to Forest, and I never thought I would say this, but being in the same position as they are, and we'll probably start next season off with on minus points. I mean, the fact that the Premier League is going to be decided by, I'm just seeing it on the TV screen there, and it says Leicester City are promoted. Who knew? Did anybody know? I didn't know. It's come as
breaking news just in.
No, I feel sorry because, as I say, that division, Dan, is going to be decided by, you know, who hasn't had points taken off them.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a topsy-turvy season. I mean, obviously, we've not helped. When I look at it from my side as a Burnley fan, that we've not helped ourselves. Obviously, with the points deductions, teams that have had them deductions around us, they've still done better than us somehow. But you know, it's going to go down to the wire. Like I say, I'm expecting 3 points against Manchester United this weekend. I'm all for it. Who's scared of Manchester United? And like I say, it's good. the thing is, I'm so made up, but Chris, you are sat where I was sat literally this time last year, and I was living the dream. Yes, we're back in the Premier League. Just give it a few days to sink in, and then you realise you're going to get bummed by VAR.
Yeah.
Hey,
That
that's
is the
next season's
downside.
problem. That's next season's problem.
Well, exactly. I got to say, look, I have been using, you'll back me up on this, Brad, won't you? I have been staying all season, even when we were 17 points clear at the top and it looked like we were going to break every record that's ever been set. I was saying, that's okay, but look at Burnley. And we've always had that in the back of our minds, haven't we, Brad?
No, he's lying, folks. He's never said that. It's all bullshit. He told me.
Anyway, as we carry on with this show.
No, yeah. I mean, we've always been cautious as well, haven't we? Like you said, about not just looking at Burnley from this season, although they're trying their own great escape. I mean, copy everybody's homework down while you're at it. You know what I mean? But, we looked at it. We always said, look, the bonus would have been, promotion, title. At that point, we were talking potential record breaking. We said that's all a bonus, but realistically, the idea is top two. We've secured that with 2 games to go. I'm sure some moaning fans out there were like, yes, but remember, we could have done this in March. Well, we did it in April. Chill out, calm down. You know what I mean?
I said the same to you and Chris, though, Brad, that, I reckon you'll go down, you'll have a bit of a rebuild. A lot of people were expecting you to do a bit of a Burnley because of the, Enzo and City Link and us with Company and City Link. So people were trying to put the 2 stories together. And I look at it and I think, yes, there's so many similarities. I mean, especially this time of the season, you only have to go back to last week or the week before where you start to think, shit, nobody in the Championship wants to win the league this season. All the results were going not the right way. We went on a bad spell of form where we actually thought, shit, are we going to throw this away? But, you're the bearer of your own fruits, aren't you? And you've got the job done. A big, massive respect to Enzo and the boys on the pitch. They've done you proud. The recruitment's been solid this year as well. I
mean, I forgot. I want to write your name down there. I want to call you Craig for some reason, Doug. I've only just opened this, so I know I'm not pissed yet, but I intend to get pissed.
Does he look like a wise old owl? Is that what fatherhood's done to him? Is he become a wise old owl?
Doug, I mean, at one point, it did look like we were walking away with it, and we said that this can't go on. I kept saying, we're going to have at some point, we're going to, hit the wall, and we're going to have a bad patch, and we did. But other teams just haven't taken advantage of it.
No, absolutely not. And I keep saying to people, this is the hardest league to predict. I mean, I think there's probably a rule you should maybe never ever predict the Championship until at least February, because then you know who's like going to be going down, who's going to be sort of going up. But I've always had this feeling with you guys this season that I think you were when you went down, I think you went down with a tendency to try and come straight back up. And I think, look, it's the difficultest league to get out of by a long stretch in the imagination. But you've got over the line now. Win against Preston. Who knows? You're 4 points away now from potentially being champions. It depends, obviously, what Ipswich do. But the main thing to end the season is to end the season basically by getting the last 2 wins against Preston and Blackburn. I think that's the main thing, and then obviously see what happens in the summer to be prepared to come back up. But no, you've been the best team throughout this season by a proverbial mile. Almost.
Have you heard that, Leeds fans, from a Liverpool neutral? Have you heard that? We have been the best.
I hope they've heard it. I hope the noise is travelling along the canal as we speak.
I'll do it again. Mel B, Nicola Adams, Erling Haaland, Corin, Daly Ray, Marco Pierre White, Johnny Brownlee, Matthew Lewis, Alex Zane, John Lancaster, Shay Walker, Gerald Kaufman. Your boys took a hell of a beating. I just love doing that. Brad, look, at least, basically, we know one of 2 things now. We're going to sign Fatawu, and we're probably going to give Vardy an extension. because the stupid transfer embargo that was imposed on us when there was no transfer window. that is like banning somebody from driving and then having the car towed away. What's the point?
We had that last year. We had that last year as well.
But I mean,
Stupid.
we've got that. We're going to start the season probably on a minus. At the moment, Brad, I don't care.
Couldn't care. Don't care. See, that's August's problem. We'll deal with that bridge when we come to it. Look, all I'm telling you now is if the inevitable happens and we get a points deduction and we don't do enough to kind of overturn it and go down, you still got to sit there and put your feet up and watch matches of the day week in, week out, because Abdul Fatawu, Premier League, you ain't ready for what he offers. What he offers us. And I know people will instantly say, oh, but his goals and that. It's what he does on the ball and what he does defensively. His whole round game is why we wax lyrical of him. And Chris, this is it. I'm just going to enjoy this till next season. Until someone says, oh, yeah, by the way, you're actually minus 12 points or 6 points or whatever. All right, fine. I'll worry about that when I have to. Right now, positives. We're going straight back up. We're not going to have a potential 5-6 years of this squad getting torn apart because they move on and having to build and loan and loan players in. We've got back up. We've got the foundations. And most importantly, Chris, young players that have played regularly this season are going to get 30-odd games in the Premier League to really embed themselves into. Even if we did go back down, I'd probably feel more confident about us going straight back up than I did this season, Chris, if you know what I mean. Because of what we have the potential to build on. I mean, let's not forget as well, Chris, not to everybody's cup of tea, but Atkin's deal could also now be made permanent because of the promotion.
Yeah.
So it's all good all round.
And I mean, I've just realised that I'd spelt Leicester wrong in the banner. I don't know what I'm doing. This is the quickest planned show I think I have ever.
Are you sure you're not pissed?
Honestly, you get away by putting gin in one of these bottles, and nobody knows,
You can tell he's enjoying retirement and promotion. He's on Strongbow instead of the old Aldi stuff from downstairs. He's living the dream.
I am never that desperate to buy the Aldi stuff. It's paint stripper, mate. See what I've got there that arrived the other week? The Jameson Leicester City whiskey bottle. Don't know if you guys see it next to the Captain Morgan with the Leicester green and yellow striped top on. Bought one of those. They are available on Amazon, 20 quid. I might open that later. No, I'm not going to.
Why not?
I mean, we know we're going to get a points deduction of some sort. Such is life. We still don't have to produce the figures yet because I think we've got until the end of June to sort things out. You get 9 points if you go bust. And I said this with Everton getting 11, and I'm sorry to mention that name, Doug, but anything going 10 points was absolutely ridiculous when you only get 9 points for going bust.
Yeah, it's silly. And I was talking to someone the other day. It's almost like being taken to court for manslaughter and drug abuse, but them just sending you down for drug abuse and forgetting the manslaughter charge. It's a little bit. It's a little bit backwards, and I don't think clubs really should be able to appeal something. If it's down to the fact that your records show that you've done something wrong, you go down for it. Simple as. But that's maybe that's just me being the pessimist. However, it shouldn't be anywhere near 9 points. I think if anything, you should get the same treatment as potentially Sheffield United. They're going to start the Championship on -2. So I reckon you potentially start the Premier League on -2, 4 at most, depending on how bad they view it. But for me, I wouldn't worry about the points thing because I think a lot of teams just don't seem to care that much about the points. As long as if they've already spent the money, it's not like they're going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to have to try and get that back and sell these players and sell this and that." You've already took the beating for it. So is it worth the risk of losing 2 points for the sake of signing what could be a difference between staying up and, relegation? I
mean, that's very true, Doug. But I think if I think it'll probably be 6 points. Now, if it is 6, because that's sort of, I think, what Forest got, wasn't it? Although they are appealing it. That's basically 2 wins. We're going to have the whole season to try and get that back. And, you know, when you look at Forest, you look at Everton, they've not had the full season to try and get that back. So, you know, that I think, well, all right, yeah, 6 points, but we've got, you know, got 38 games to play here.
Yeah, 100%. If you look at the points deduction, like Everton got, if they didn't get that points deduction, they'd be on 41 points. They wouldn't even be in the talk of relegation. Forest, if they didn't get their sort of 6-point deduction, they would be on 32 points as well. This PSR, like honestly, I keep saying it. Financial fair play is a myth. It's an absolute myth, and it just goes to show that the Premier League really wants to punish the small clubs, but while Chelsea and Manchester City are going sort of scotch free at the moment, and Richard Masters came out and said today that apparently the Manchester City court date has been scheduled. Well, tell us, like it's just. It's just ridiculous. But what I will say is that I think Everton and Nottingham Forest have kind of shown that yes, give us points deduction. Looks like we're staying up. And obviously Dan has alluded to obviously Sheffield United. They're taking a points deduction next season to start the championship. Like I don't think it will be as many as 6. I don't think it'll be as many as 6. I think if you do get a punishment, I think it would be 2 or 3, and you would be able to get that back within like 2 wins immediately.
I don't know, Brad. Look, did you watch the game, Brad?
Oh, I did. I was one of them ones. I'll put it on because you never know, but no matter look. I'll be halfway through eating and Leeds will take a 2-0 lead and I could turn it off, do whatever. And the more it unfolded, the better it got. And we're happy to be back. Thank you, Premier League, for that introduction. We're happy to be back. I mean, it was surreal, wasn't it? I mean, we thought beating Southampton was surreal and strange with the way we beat them. I mean, Leeds United were Southampton-esque tonight. I know they had a couple of chances to maybe have changed the game up before half time, but Chris, it made me laugh, didn't it? Because I wonder if Leeds fans are moaning the same way we were about Enzo when we were losing at half time, not making any substitutions, watching the opposition who are winning making all the changes, and we're not making one until like the 80th minute. It just shows you sometimes when it all goes wrong in front of your eyes, your own brain goes. So even the best can make mistakes. I say best lightly. I mean, the best team in the championship are currently in the 3rd place. So, say that as you will. So, but yeah, it was just weird to watch, Chris, because I think this is the first time probably since Tottenham said they were coming for us that I just didn't really care for the game. I wasn't nervous watching it. It wasn't the same as back then. And that's not because it's Championship Premiership. It's, that's not the case. It was more because I just felt like something was going to happen. One of them was going to drop points, and Leeds have already done it for us by dropping points tonight. So just happy it's done, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Brad. I tell you, the one thing you should go out to the shops tomorrow and get some Leeds crumble. It'll taste very nice.
Oh, the Hovis in the kitchen's gone all soggy from crying. So
I was about to say they'll be crying in their Hovis tonight. Craig said earlier, the Bournemouth fan, he said, and definitely we're going for a drink next week, Craig. He said earlier, has the internet gone down in Yorkshire? I think it may have done, but as I've been saying for ages, Dan, look, a bit of porn for you there. Football porn. 94 points. We cannot not go up. Do we want to go up as champions? I don't give a shit, to be honest with you. I've gone from when we were 17 points clear, and I said, I want to break the records. I want to go up. I want the record points. I want to beat Manchester City. It was all about going up. I just did not see that happening tonight.
No, it's a tough one because you think Leeds are really going to throw themselves into this game, knowing full well that a win puts them back to the top of the table, and promotion pretty much, still on the cards. But you see there, Ipswich has still got 2 games in hand. you know, whatever happens, I really do hope Leeds drop even further. Because on the back of that result, it's clear to see they're nowhere near ready. They're getting beat by a team that look destined for the drop. And for me, seeing you guys in Ipswich come up, it'll look more like a Premier League table of old. You know, seeing the likes of teams in there, you deserve it. You deserve it after this season. No matter what dramas you're getting off the pitch, I'm made up for you, mate. I really, really am. And like I say, I'm hoping that it's not just not seen you since last year. Hi, we're on our way down. You're on your way up.
I know. It's been 2 years. How have you managed?
Mate, I've been going to therapy. It's been working very, very well.
I tell you what, mate. I've saved a fortune in paternity payment.
Well, I don't know, Chris. I don't know.
Sorry, Brad.
I said, I hope you save some money in the maternity department. Maybe impregnation area.
Oh, yeah. I've absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Let's just catch up with a few comments. Yes, Leicester, well done, Foxes, indeed. Can I just say, 115 of you in, please smash that likes button if you would. I will add everybody's links here. Turf Moorhouse, Dugout Football Channel, LTID TV 2. I'll add them in afterwards. I just haven't had time to do that yet. Brookline, Leeds are wide open for giving up goals. How are they top 3? God knows. West London is a lucky place for us when we hope they do us a favour to win the league. Indeed. Going back to my
place
question
is Yorkshire, isn't it? At the minute, very good place is Yorkshire.
Brad, what do Leicester need to improve to stay up?
They probably need to first of all see who's going to be going next season or not staying on contracts that will, and then that probably opens it. If you said now you're just taking the same players back up that you've got, we need to add depth to our back line. Left back is fairly solid. If you say Doyle comes back to us on loan, like I said, I'm taking the squad on face value, but defensively we need to add depth to it. I think we need to add depth to that midfield. And unfortunately, whether he signs a new 1-year contract or not, we need to sort out the front end. It's not as bad as I make it sound. I'm talking like 6 signings probably to compensate for losses of players and obviously depth in the area. I reckon it's going to be a season where we make probably 6 signings, 2 loanees, so probably 8 in total. But it won't be a dramatic change. There's not too much to figure out, is there? We've got great strength in the first 11 in terms of the midfield. We've got great wingers in Mavadidi and assumingly Fatawu now, because we can make that deal happen. You know, we've got a good back four as well. It's just the depth. I reckon we just need to take the depth out, strengthen that up, because what we don't want to do, sorry to say it, as despite the better Ghanaian we've got now, we don't want to be in a situation where we're putting Amati at centre back. You know, we don't want 6 Daniel Amatis on the bench. We want like we've had this season, teams looking at our bench, seeing our players warm up and going, oh fucking hell, bringing it on now. You know what I mean? Like we've done that with Vardy and whatnot this season. We want teams next season to go, for Christ's sake. Now they're bringing on these guys, you know, and I think that's what
you guys don't suffer what we suffered, because obviously you come up, you've built a team that you feel like you know that team in and out. And I've said this about Burnley, that we had a team that you felt at the time you could message one of them on Instagram and they'd go for a pint with you. You felt that togetherness with the players in your club when the going is good. But this season, we've gone up and we've completely ripped up that team sheet and started again. What you don't want to do is be making that mistake, because it's so easily done. So if it is like you said there, Brad, that it's just a case of adding the odd 1 or 2 faces, then you should be fine. You should be fine. That strong is more than capable and strong enough to survive comfortably in mid-table Premier League, in my opinion.
Doug, the Leeds players look a little bit despondent.
Yeah, just a tad. Just a tad. I'm even surprised to see Charlie Austin has actually lost his hair. I didn't actually I didn't actually realise that he was clean shaven and obviously bald as well. But look, I think Leeds were just shell shocked tonight. And I think, as you say, I think they did there at Southampton. I think they just went to QPR just expecting to win. And look, I think now it's opened the door for Ipswich to come up, and if they win the next two games, then they're confirmed to go up as well. So big incentive for Kieran McKenna and his boys.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
Big incentive for Kieran McKenna and his boys to get up.
Look, he's done an amazing job. I couldn't believe that Enzo wasn't in the shortlist for manager of the season. That's the EFL playing silly buggers and trying to be clever. But even if he was, McKenna deserves it. For me, I mean, Brad, I know the answer to this is you don't care who's going up with us, and I said that earlier in the chat. But I'd love to see Ipswich do it. And I'd love to see Southampton do it in the playoffs because obviously they're a local team and I can go and watch Leicester. But you just brought it up on Sky. Then they brought the table up, and what does that P next to your name mean, Brad?
It means possibly the best team in the Championship and promoted to the Premier League. It's a triple P missing there. There it is.
Can I have a P, please, Bob?
Yes, indeed. I did say earlier, has watching another team scored goals ever given anybody else a hard on? Because tonight, totally, that was better than sex tonight, Doug. Well, it was for me at my age, anyway.
It was just look, QPR. I said it earlier. They're in a false position in the league. They should be higher for the quality that they've got. Elias Chair, Lyndon Dykes, you name a few. They've got some very, very good players there. The new managers came in. I think he's taken 31 points of a possible 47 since he's came in. He's done a magnificent job. And actually, if you look at like targets for next season, I would imagine Elias Chair would be probably on the top of a lot of Premier League clubs. He is a cracking wee player, the Moroccan.
Yes. I said I would have liked him. We've been linked with him before. One of the players we have been linked with, just chat back to Brad here with this one, is the guy from Manchester City that we wanted that decided it would be a better move for him to go to Sheffield United.
Which player was that decided
McAtee.
that?
McAtee, yeah.
Yes.
Don't know anything about him. I thought it was more the guy that's on loan at Southampton, that Harwood Bells that we were more getting.
Oh yeah, Harwood Bellis that we.
I didn't know about this other guy that chose Sheffield United. A bit like Luke Thomas chose to.
To be fair, I think Harwood Bellis actually becomes a permanent Southampton player once they're promoted. I think they've got a 20.
Well, no, all of a sudden I don't want them to get promoted.
He's a future England centre back. I tell you that
really
now.
He is. Yeah, I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know we were linked with him. I always assumed the other Man City player that we were linked with was the one I just mentioned. I didn't even know.
I only found out recently that we were linked with Cole Palmer, and Manchester City had accepted a loan move from us. It were going to happen, but he already had his head set on. No, I want out of here. I want a permanent move out. So absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted.
Can I just say, and I have invited him on, but whether he will or not, somebody we all know. A Leeds fan called Carl, bless him, a really nice Leeds fan. He's just sent me a link saying, "Is this you?" that has messaged the BBC, because I've just gone on to the BBC here, and it says, if I can find it, Chris. When people send in messages and they give them up, and he's called himself Chris, a very happy Leicester fan. Must say, after this week, Leeds versus Southampton will be an interesting match to watch. Well done to QPR. Thank you so much for this. We are Premier League. Carl, I don't know if you're watching. I'm happy to send you an invitation to come on. We won't take the piss out of you much because you could still go up. Let's be honest with you. We're up. You could still go up. I don't think you will, but you could. But if you want to come on, mate, and give a bit of banter back, you are more than welcome. But yeah, McAtee, we were linked with him, and he decided down at the start of the season that he fancied it. Well, he'd been at Sheffield United, I think, the season before, in fairness to him. and he decided to go back there. But apparently we're going to go back in for him. I don't know whether that's a loan or a permanent, but we're going to be linked with every man and his dog now, aren't we?
Yeah, and you're always going to be linked with the youngsters at Manchester City because of the Enzo link. It's, we've had it, and it's just something that comes part and parcel with the job now. But McAtee is a real player. If you can bring him in, he's decent. He's probably one of the key midfielders in that Sheffield United side. Other than that, they've got the likes of Vinny Souza and a few others who've first season syndrome. Pretty much, they've bottled it. But McAtee's done well for Sheffield United. The only issue you've got is that does he feel now that he wants to prove himself at Manchester City? He's never going to get that. We all know that. But it'd be a great move for him, fantastic move for him. And I think if the money is there, if Top does have money to spare, money to spare for you guys in the transfer window, I'd definitely pay easily a good 18 to 17 million for a player like that. He's absolutely fantastic. That's
the question, though, isn't it, Brad? Willie, and as a question there, and I've lost it, but yeah, from Derek, is selling KDH still a necessity?
No, it's not. First of all, we've got our own personal loan deals out with options to buy. And I'm sure even if the clubs that have the players out on loan can't bring themselves to pay the sum, somebody will. Somebody's going to want a very young, eager left back like Christensen. He's just something that's like gold dust to find. We know he's got the pace, and it's only because he refused to change his manner of how he plays the game to suit Enzo that he didn't want to stay around, which, all right, fine. You do you, mate. But somebody will want that at a club. Boubakary Samare, still a young midfielder, plenty of potential, has got European caliber to his name with who he is. I would much rather, with the greatest respect, see talents like that go. I'd rather lose Wilfred on a free for a wage structure than I would KDH. We said this about Madders and Tillemans to a degree, more Madders and Tillemans, obviously, for the last few seasons. You've got to pick a player to kind of build, your squad around in a way. Like, he's your big cog, and KDH is like, him and Winks are like the new Tillemans and Madders, if you will, for us. They're the two players we need to make this team around to get the best out of them. If we sell KDH, you might as well just say, "Here, lads, here's a ticket. What is it? Return to the Championship." Because you will not replace that if we just there's no necessity to sell him. Surely there can't be a necessity to sell somebody like that. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
Does it worry you though, Chris? Because obviously you get promoted. It's not just that, there's the good things as a fan, but then from a perspective, Top's now looking at it thinking, shit, I've got a bunch of players whose wages are now going to go up by potentially 25% or more due to promotion. So that's an extra cost that you've got to take into account before you even think about player sales. I mean, how do you think about it?
Look, we know he's not exactly the best at dealing with money at the moment, is he? Because of the situation we're in. But at the end of the day, what he has to do, he has to do. When you look, and we've been a club that went out of business once, definitely twice, I believe, a third time nearly. We were saved once by Gary Lineker and his consortium. We were saved next time by Milan Mandrić. Football is so risky these days, and if we have a club that is in League Two, I'd be happy than having no club at all. I mean,
you could be in Reading's situation, couldn't you?
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. I don't think, obviously now that we have got promoted, there is going to be a certain amount of money we know is going to come in. We can get sponsors back because we had it wasn't the best of sponsors, but FBS, we had their sponsorship, which we lost. No, we don't want. It is a complete, as you can see there, that is the sponsorship logo. It's a shit one, but we lost them when we got relegated. They're now just doing.
I've had FBS all season, fat bastard syndrome.
Me, you mean?
You know what? You know what? When you brought up the letters, you could see the cogs turning.
I just
Dan's brain like, oh, how can I
Do I
word
say it? Do I not say it?
It's
Like
the
a kid
stream
with
coming
ADHD
out.
going, don't do it, don't do it. Bleh.
I ate all the pies. I will admit that. At least I didn't eat the hot chili.
Hey.
But yeah, look, who we have to sell, we have to sell. We're not in the position, I don't think, where we had to, because if we go up, it's going to be a points deduction. It's not going to be a fine or anything like that. There's a lot of players out of contract. Vardy will probably stay, and we can afford him to stay now because we are in the Premier League. Albrighton is out, and as much as I hate to say it, he'll be on a high wage, and he's probably not going to be with us next year. As Brad said, we've got players to sell. So, look, at the end of this, everybody's been saying, and Saint was saying it earlier, are you looking at top 12 or whatever? No, we're not. We are having to start again. Those 9 seasons we had in the Premier League were absolutely brilliant. Winning the FA Cup. It's something that I would never thought I would see as a Leicester fan, and we did. We are not going to be back. We know 2 top 5 finishes in a row. Europe 2 seasons in a row. That's not going to be back. Next season, with or without the points deduction, we will be looking at finishing 17th.
Well
and
said.
anything over that is a bonus.
Well
so
said.
We've got to remember that when we come back in, Brad, and I think you'll probably agree with me, we're not the Leicester that was there last time.
Nah, we're smashing Man City opening game of the season. We'll be top by Christmas. Bring on the Premier League trophy. Bring it on. Enzo's going to do the Pep number 2. Of course not, Chris. Of course not. In all seriousness, I'm exactly like you. Give me 17th all the way now. And I agree with you, Jesse. I hated that logo. It should never have. It's like, the fact that it's still a part of the club in the training kit is horrendous. I love the King Power logo. So, yeah, but Chris, I'm with you. At the end of the day, we were very, as best we could, level-headed this season. We kind of kept our feet on the ground. We weren't jizzing ourselves in February like Leeds were. So for me, it is what it is, Chris. Whether we've got to overcome 12 points, 2 points, I don't care. I would very happily take 17th by a goal right now. If you said to me, you're going to score in the 96th minute on May 10th or whenever the last game of the season would be, and that's going to keep you up, I'll take the heart attacks I have on the way. It will be worth it. The mini stress of it will do. Ask any club in the Premier League right now. Dan would rip your left and right arm off to say you're going to be safe come the end of the season. Please, Dan, please relegate Forest. That'd be so funny.
That's my.
I know it's out of your hands. There's nothing you can literally do, but promise me you will. Just promise me.
There is a chance we play them on the final day of the season at the turf. It is like a penultimate game of the season.
Lads, brainwave here. Joint watch along. Go on, do it. Have Leicester corner in one corner cheering.
I have booked the day off work. I've booked the day off work. I am either going on or I'm going to do a watch along. I think probably a watch along because tickets are probably going to be like hotcakes. But I agree with you. A lot of people said to me at the start of us going up there, "Oh, you'll easily finish 10th. You'll finish mid-table. You'll be comfortable. Look at the season you've had." No, let's be real. Let's actually be real. It's all well and good. Enjoy the promotion. But that jump is something else. And I would still snap your hand off for safety in this division. So whether you're a negative Nelly or not, you're a realist. That's it. You're not negative. You just, you know what the situation is.
I've been supporting this team long enough to know. Never get ahead of
Exactly.
the
I mean, Doug, you're sort of doing what we were doing, basically, having a bit of a struggle. What do you see Leicester doing if they do come up? I mean, we're going to add to the squad, so it's very much up in the air. We don't know. Players are going to go, some are going to come in. I mean, I don't know if you see much of Leicester, but, Fatawu, like Brad said earlier, and Mavididi, they are going to tear one off. Maybe not the top teams, and let's forget, the Man Cities, Liverpools, Arsenals, but the teams, sort of 6th and 7th downwards, we should stand a chance of getting something off them, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. I have watched a lot of Leicester this season because I watched a lot of the Championship. It's one of my favourite leagues to watching. I've been watching Leicester really, really closely, and I think Fatawu and Mabadidi are two fantastic players. I think if you manage to keep both of them, I think you've got a really, really exciting thing to look forward to. I think the only thing I think really you probably need to strengthen, I think, is strikers. I think Vardy he is getting on a bit. He's probably going to get one more year contract. Daka's hit and miss. Cannon, I've not seen much of Cannon as well. But I think this is the mistake I did with Burnley, Dan. I actually had you 15 for the start of the season. I thought you would come up.
Yeah.
I thought you would survive pretty comfortably. It's obviously not turned out that way, but you are looking like you are going to potentially do the Great Escape, because you are. You're only 3 points adrift of safety now. Look, Sheffield United will probably be confirmed as relegated. I mean, who goes up and concedes 90 league goals is absolutely criminal. I mean,
had an
they could
Arsenal
actually.
fan the other day, Doug. An Arsenal fan actually came to me the other day and went, "We put 11 past Sheffield United." I went, "Whoopie do? It's 2 more than what we put. We put 9 past them." He went, "Oh." Trying to make it out like they'd won the league off beating Sheffield United. Calm down.
Yeah, exactly.
Arsenal fans being premature. Never heard of it, have we, Chris?
No. One
No.
nice Nina's in. She's always one of the nice ones. Got to thank Dan for the bit of artwork there. Thank you, mate. I only just realised you sent it me. But yeah,
Don't know what KDH is doing to Mavadidi's head. He's like really trying to squish a pimple on his forehead or something at that moment.
Who cares? Who cares what he's doing to him? But look,
Popping that promotion spot, Chris. That's what he's doing.
Hey, bum bum. Brad, we'll start to wind it up. This is a show I never thought I'd be doing, so I've completely winged it through on this. I don't know. We're going to enjoy it, aren't we? We'll worry about next season when it gets to it. What will be, will be. All we're going to say is, look, we're back there. And I think any team that goes up, and I'm sure Dan felt this last season, is that you just enjoy it for what it is. And if we come back down, we come back down.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I had to say it a lot last season because good moments in football are very hard to come by. You have to bottle them. You have to enjoy them while they are. That's why anybody's saying, "Oh, but next season you could be this." What next season? Next season's 3 months away. I do not care. You know what I mean? I'm just dances at all. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying this. I'm gonna take it for what it is. I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna remember it, and I'm gonna try and use that for next season when. And things will get difficult for Leicester. There's no doubt about it. We'll probably have a fixture congestion where we play. Oh, well, I mean, Doug, you might as well get organising with Chris now, because Boxing Day we'll play Liverpool. New Year's Day we'll play Man City. The usual's coming back, lads. I can't wait for it, but I'll wait for it now. I will enjoy this promotion and drink it in. And you know what? The next 2 watch-alongs, Chris, are going to be the most stress-free you've ever had in your life, aren't they?
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, it'll be hard to watch next season because obviously we lose iFollow, which is going anyway. And that, Doug, I can't believe you had to go at the Messi, the goat that is Daka. How very dare you, sir?
Oh, get the pitchforks out. I think
surprised that he said hit and miss. I was like, where did the hit start?
Just because your baby isn't playing anymore.
It's old news. Fatu's my new love child. A relationship with Nacho ended. Fatu is my new best friend. Oh, friend.
Nah, get the pitchforks out. But no, I think you do need another striker. I do think you need another striker. And actually, if you're looking at like players who could potentially, come in. I mean, I know obviously Hull are doing pretty well at this moment in time. I know I think it's going to be a bit of a tricky thing to sort of get 6th place ahead of Norwich, but they're doing a very, very good to show things. If Liverpool don't fancy Carvalho, that he's lighting up at Hull. That could be a player to look forward to next season as well.
Dan, you said this when we got relegated, and it's something I have oft quoted during the season, and that is, yes, you've got relegated, but you'll enjoy it. It's proper football. There's no VAR, and it's great. And yes, I mean, when that goal goes in, you look to the linesman. Unless he's took his flag up, you celebrate. And yes, we have had some duff refs, but even Richard Madley the other night, not Richard Madley, what's he called?
Bob.
No,
Bob,
the referee.
Bobby Madley.
No, I can't think what he's called.
Well, yeah, that is the referee, Bob Madley.
Referee is Bobby
Is
Madley.
it Bob Madley? Is it?
Yeah,
Richard
Paul
Madley,
fella.
the presenter on GMB, and I always used to say.
I love how he knew he got it wrong, and then when Dan corrects him, no, Dan, I'm now sure the answer
I knew I was wrong, but Bob didn't seem to ring a bell. I mean, even he had
Roberts,
a decent
call
game the
him
other
Roberts
night.
Madley. You might know him there.
But even when we had that second goal ruled out against Leeds, Daka as it happens, which wasn't offside, but was given offside. Yeah, I was annoyed, obviously, but at least I felt Leicester. Yeah, it's human error, and it didn't take them 20 minutes to draw some lines in to see that somebody's big toenail had grown too much, and yeah, that's going to come back, and I'm not looking forward to that, but it has been a great ride. You were quite right with everything you said. Proper football. And Craig said this the other night, you can put tackles in, and then it's not.
I dare say the Championship has now become the best league in English football. Because I think it was Goldbridge said something earlier that
I was going to say, did you see
the Premier League is now boring. You've got a team like City who've won it 7 years in a row, or looking like they're set to win it 7 years in a row, or whatever, and relegation battle always seems to be the three teams that come up. So where's the fun in that? The thing is, with the Championship, it's so hit and miss. You've got teams who are 1 minute languishing towards the League One trapdoor, the season after coming up via the playoffs. We see, who would have expected the likes of Blackpool and Huddersfield to have made it through the playoffs and got into the Premier League? Now look at them. This is why, for me, the Championship is the most exciting, and that's why I don't give a shit if we go down. We go down. If we stay up, yeah, brilliant. But if we stay up, I'm thinking more brilliant from the financial perspective, not more so the football perspective, which I would so much more enjoy in the Championship. But to quote the old man that is Neil Warnock, enjoy it, but enjoy it by being disciplined.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can get it up, actually.
Whoa, I know you're excited, but no to get it up. Just Craig Craig excited him.
I was excited that Craig came in.
It's not the first time you've said that.
Yeah, it has been a long time. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able. This is going to work or not, but I just want to try and play this. Here we go. Bear with us, everybody, because some people can't be seen there. There's so many of us. I'm just going to play this.
People are saying, please don't stop the watch along at half time. I don't think I've ever stopped a watch along at half time. And City fans will say, oh, cry me a river and all that nonsense. But it's not about that. You are going to win the league and you have won this game. But I'm not going to watch the second half because the Premier League is boring. It's fundamentally boring. And we need to wake up to the fact that this is not the best league in the world. We've got a team that is going to win it for 6 times out of the last 7. We've got 3 newly promoted teams that are going to get relegated. If relegation is boring, title is boring, then you've got a broken brand. And on top of that, I'm watching another game that at a pivotal moment at 1-0, Man City get given a free kick that's not a free kick and they score from it. And I'm tired of it. I'm bored of it. I'm bored of watching a league that is boring with officiating, which belongs on a local park. It's absolutely abhorrent. And fair play to Man City, they're a juggernaut. I said they would win this league at the start, but what the Premier League are playing at and what the officials are playing at in what is effectively,
he is speaking. He's speaking sense, isn't he, Craig?
For once in his YouTube channel, he is.
Yeah.
He's speaking like a man whose own team are not competing. That's what he's speaking like. Because if
Same again this weekend, Craig.
Yeah. If they were up there competing and could go into it, he would not be saying the same things.
Yeah,
it's because he's supporting, a smaller Manchester team that he's coming out with that rubbish. But anyway, enough about them.
Exactly. Craig, go on, sum it up. How are you feeling?
It is tinged with a little bit of sadness that we will be, missing the championship and all its glory, all its glory of glancing at the linesman, seeing the flags down, then you can celebrate. That is, Doug. Yeah, I mean, you'll never experience this. I feel sorry for you, but there's so much to love about the championship, and if fans were not so sort of vociferous in their sort of criticism of managers and the team and players or whatever, and the club could sustain it financially, I'd be quite happy to have like 2 or 3 years in the Premiership and then have another year in the Championship just to remember what football's really like.
It does that to you, doesn't it, Craig?
Yeah.
It does give you that love of football back. Everything Dan said, like I say, when we went down, he was quite, he was, right on, and it hurts me to say that, but he was right on everything.
Have that writing, please, Chris.
But look, Craig, well, I know we're going to worry about it at the end of the season, but look, I don't care. We're up. That's the main thing. And like I said earlier in the season, yes, I wanted this and I wanted that and I wanted the records, but I don't care if we don't win it now because we're up. That's all that matters.
Yeah. You know what though, and I touched on this the other night when we did the preview of the Preston game. That next season, it sounds weird, but I'm quite happy that we're going to get a points deduction because it's an absolutely free swing next season. Everybody will expect us to go down anyway. Even if we started on level points with everyone would expect us to go down. But now we'll have a points deduction. We'll definitely be expected to go down. So if we stay up on the last day by 1 point or 1 goal, what a fantastic season it's going to be. We go into it expecting nothing. So I think it's going to be great. It's weird, but I'm quite happy that we're going to get our points deduction in the Premier League rather than if we stayed down and got it next season in the EFL.
Describing my love life there, Craig. Going to it and expect nothing. Look, I touched it on this earlier that all right, well, it could be 2, 4, 6, 8 points, whatever. But the fact is, for us, it's better because we'll know at the start.
Yeah, exactly.
So and we're going to have 38 games to get that back. And also, the other point as well is this. And I made this earlier. This isn't the Leicester that was up for 9 seasons, finishing 5th and winning it. It is a complete. The slate is clean. It's like it's like the guy that was employed as a roofer and was sacked for masturbating on the roof, but his boss allowed him to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
All right, that just came to me. I can't use that on the radio show, but no, it is a completely different city that are going up, isn't it?
It is, but what I would also say is, against Southampton the other night, we saw what this team is capable of doing with 30% possession. And that's much more like what we're going to have in the Premier League rather than this sort of stats of 60, 70% possession where we're just coming up against packed defences. And everybody says, yeah, if we play that way, we're going to get tanked. We're going to get tanked probably by the top 6, 8 clubs, but there's another 12 or there's another 11 that we've got to play against.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
you know, I don't go into it all doom and gloom.
Yeah. I'm going to just change things around a bit. So I'm going to let a couple of you go. Dan, thank you so very much for coming on. I will add your details later, but just tell everybody where they can find you at gingernorthern.com.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere apart from OnlyFans. Like I say, at Turf Morehouse is the place where you'll find me. Hopefully, you'll see a Burnley Great Escape before the season's out, and then fingers crossed. Look forward to two tight fixtures against a good opposition in Leicester. I'm looking forward to that, and it'd be good to speak to you again over the course of the season, Chris.
Fingers crossed that we will be playing you next season. Dan, all the
Send
best, mate.
Forest
Thanks
down.
for popping
See
on.
you, Dan.
Take
Good
care.
luck
Thank
for
you.
the season. Doug, I'm going to let yourself go as well. Thank you very much for coming on pre and at half time as well. I never thought expected to be doing this. Like I say, it's the quickest I've ever put a show together. Last question for you: are Liverpool going to do it, or are you bottling it?
Unfortunately, I think this season is sort of curtailing to its end. Unfortunately, I think the players have ran out of steam. Unfortunately, so no, I think it's going to be between Arsenal and Manchester City. I just don't think we've been good enough throughout the season. Unfortunately, but I'm just going to enjoy the last 4 games and see what it takes us. I mean, we're not mathematically out of it yet, but we do need a miracle. We need Arsenal and City to drop points, but we'll see what happens. You never know in this league. But congratulations to Leicester. Looking forward to our game on Boxing Day, because there's no doubt the Premier League will put us on Boxing Day, like Brad said. But no, congratulations to you guys, and look forward to see you next season. And Chris, I'll see you for the Euros shit shirt show.
Oh yes, definitely Euro shit shirt show. And just tell everybody where they can find you. It's not the Hug Out Football channel, but do tell people where they can come and follow Liverpool and yourself.
You always get that in. It's so annoying. The Dugout Football channel on YouTube. Enrod_1992 on X. I don't care. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Douglas Dawhorn on Instagram. Douglas James Horn on Facebook. And Douglas James Horn LFC 92 on TikTok.
Oops, hang on. Where have you gone? You're there. You obviously couldn't get the same name on everything.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
All the best, mate. I will see you I'll see you before Boxing Day for the Shit Shirt Show. Thanks very much for coming on, and thanks for the congratulations.
No worries. Enjoy your night, folks. See you later.
Yes. Oh, we will enjoy it, won't we, guys? We will enjoy it. Brad, I mean, I mean, Ed doesn't care. We should have been celebrating it maybe months ago. We are celebrating it now. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all that matters. When it comes down to brass taxes, mate, what matters is whether we did it in March, whether we did it, just over an hour ago. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's nothing is certain until all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and everything's done. So, okay, we could have done it easier. We didn't. But at least not bottling it like Leeds United. So, it could be different, I suppose. I'd rather be in our shoes than theirs, because we've got that. They haven't earned that yet. And,
I mean, Craig, I mean, I don't like the word, although I'm using it now because we're talking about Leeds, but I don't like bottling it. But, I mean, what a season it has been. I mean, somebody posted once, and it was a guy from the BBC said, "Does anybody want to get automatic promotion out of this league?" And it was like that. It's been the man. I used to say this was the 5th best league in Europe. I don't think it is. I think it's better. I know, like Mark Goldridge was making a very emphasised point, but the Premier League ain't what it used to be, I'm afraid.
No, it's not. They've sucked the life out of it. I'm just watching Sky now, and they've just had the remaining fixtures with race for the Premier League, and we're not on it anymore because we're there. So that's good to see. And But there was they were just going through the back pages, and one of them was about was about VAR. I think there's an article tomorrow in the Telegraph, quite a big article, saying that VAR is done because it's sucking the lifeblood out of football, and all fans hate it. I would love, I doubt it, because when these things come in, they rarely throw them out again. But I would love them to have the balls and the bottle to actually throw it away and get back to enjoying football, because it's been an absolute pleasure this season. It really has.
Yes, and Brad, I was one that when we pre-VAR, I wanted VAR, but it could be made to work. But it's just, I know they say that if you put 11 monkeys in front of with a pen and paper, eventually they'll write Shakespeare. But I'll be dead before that happens with VAR.
Yeah, I still think you've got more chance of a room full of monkeys writing Shakespeare before they get VAR right. I mean, the one thing that piddles me off about it, and I know people said there's numerous things, is they act in football like we're the only and first ever sport to have technology in it. Rugby and cricket and tennis, even bloody tennis, a return to me to use sport has better and has used technology far longer and far better than this sport has. It's so easy to fix. So for me, it's just like it's so annoying because, like you said, Chris, it stops goal celebrations. There's so much with it that could work, if you use it for what it was designed for, which is clear and obvious. I don't need to see a foul that was committed, 10 minutes into the build-up to then go and rule out a goal. I don't need someone's lace being over the line to the offside to dampen that. You just use your noggin. You use what's in, up here, as everybody's got one and developed with, despite, people suggesting otherwise, and just use it properly. Use it for clear and obvious, and it can be a fantastic thing for the sport. Every other sport went through the transition where they didn't like it, they hated it, they wanted rid of it. Now they like it. So that just needs to happen with VAR and football.
Craig, and I'll throw this one at you because otherwise Brad will go off on a 20-minute discussion about cricket. But I'm not a huge cricket fan, but the way they use their VAR, I don't know what it's called in cricket, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, Hawkeye, isn't it? But yeah,
no, that's at least I think Hawkeye, isn't it?
DRS.
What? Oh, right, yeah. But I know they have so many challenges they can use throughout it. It's the same in tennis. They have limited challenges that they can use, and if they're proved right, they keep the challenge, and if not, they've lost it. I mean, that could work. Personally, I would like to see it for matters of fact only. Was the foul inside or outside the box? Did the ball cross the line, which is what we've got at the minute? And for everything else, stuff it, to be honest, because the problem is, they talk about, oh, yeah, but if you get footballers involved and they can be in the booth with it, all you're doing is shifting the emphasis onto someone else's opinion. It will always be an opinion. And the more people you bring in to have an opinion, the more different opinions you'll get. So for me, technology should be there for matters of fact and nothing else.
I mean, Brad, on that Man United commentary semi-final, they had a VAR, assistant VAR, and a VAR support. And I think in the last World Cup, or whenever it was, I think they had 7 people in the VAR studio. They had support for the assistants as well. And it's just bloody stupid. Plus the online ref, plus the linesman. I mean, sometimes...
No, don't forget, there was also a Man U fan in there as well, like the Luton fan wasn't there for the Forest.
Exactly. But now, how many people are needed to make decisions that are still wrong? Like you say, I don't want to know what happened 5 movements before I gave a shit. You know what I mean? All you want to know is what's happening at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's that old cliche expression? Too many cups spoil the broth. Too many people, and the thing is, right? It is too opinionated, the decisions, because there's still no consistency with the Mister. Because if Stuart Atwell is reffing one game and he's given a penalty and then VAR overturns it, but he's sat there going, "No, I'd give that," but fair, yeah, all right, seeing it that way, and then next week he's the VAR official and John Moss doesn't give it, but he would have given it. Then he's going to make him change his mind. It needs Chris, and again, we'll probably do a show on this during the off season. But all it needs is it needs what, 10 officiants, 20 officiants, whatever it is, non-football fans, completely biased, trained on the exact rules they all agree on, so they're all given the same
biased.
Unbiased. sorry,
I'm sure he said completely biased.
Yeah,
that's what we've got.
Yeah, us three are the new VAR officials. No, but unbiased aficionados. And what I mean by that is, like I said, is what we're seeing in the Premier League with VAR is that's a penalty. Well, I don't think it is. And that's all it is. It's two egos battling it, and you just don't need that.
For me, Craig, I did want ex-players doing it for the unnatural positions and that sort of thing. But it's like make the rules simpler. That's all it's got to be.
I mean, yeah, if they're going to keep it, then I'd be quite happy for an ex-professional to be in there, because I hate seeing all this sort of faking, putting the leg out. You can see, we've all watched enough football. When a player has initiated contact, I think is the phrase that they use. But for some reason, all these match officials who are supposedly experts can't work it out. The fact, just because someone has touched you does not make it a penalty or a foul or God knows what. Exactly. But yeah, please don't get me started.
And it is that. Oh, I'm just looking at there's golf at the moment on the on Sky, and it's Perez is just taking a putt and gets the ball in. That's something he could do when he played football, wasn't it?
He's better golfer than he was a footballer. He is a footballer.
I know you've got to go, Craig. So I'm going to leave this last question for you, and the last question on VAR. I think what you need as well is, you say, it's got to be clear and obvious, and it's not. They don't stick to that rule at all with the clear and obvious, because they're not, are they? But I think you need referees that have actually got a pair of balls between their legs, because when they're called over to the screen, how many times? I remember watching, I think it was the Women's Euros or the Women's World Cup it was, and the referee went over, said, I gave it as a penalty or whatever. This person, the VAR said, have a look at it. I've gone and had a look at it. It's still a penalty.
Yeah.
They're not, if they did that, because as soon as they go over to the monitor, that it's going to be changed.
Exactly. Just that was your decision.
On-field decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Craig.
Yeah. I say that's okay, bro. That's what you saw. The fact, and please stop showing replays of the incidents in slow motion. That's not how the game is played. It's not how it's refereed. It's refereed at full speed. So that's how the VAR should be done as well. There's so many things that are just wrong with VAR.
It says here, VAR does work and it equals it out over the season. It doesn't work. It shouldn't. VAR shouldn't have to equal itself out. The idea with VAR is that it should be perfect 100% of the time. That's why we've got VAR. Like I say, I always said when we were complaining about the referees, be careful what you wish for. Greg, I'm going to let you go because I know you've got to go. So thanks very much for popping on.
You're welcome, guys.
Raise the cup glass, whatever to you. Enjoy it.
Indeed. One of the few times that I've got a beer in my hand that you'll see me on your show, Chris.
Is that a red stripe?
It is a red stripe, yeah.
Yeah. One of my favourite beers, and I can never seem to. Well, when I drink cider now, but one of my favourite lagers.
Yeah, they all seem to be in my fridge. That's why you can
Right, I'm coming. I'm on my way. Thanks very much, mate. I'll see you next Thursday for the Blackburn preview. We may even be champions by then.
You never know. Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Brad. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Just there. Oops. There we go. I don't know if you've got to go yet, Brad.
No, I just need to stretch my back out, which is why I've
No, that's all right. No, don't worry. Hang on a second here. Well done, Leicester fan, from this Leeds fan. Good luck next season. Not all Leeds fans are arrogant or salty, but the big mouths make the most noise. 1-4 Yorks. You're quite right. Like I say, every club has them. You know, I'm sure that I know there's been some Leicester fans that have been over onto Leeds channels tonight doing the same. You know, we all have them, but we react. We react to them when they come on. But no, I appreciate that. I was surprised today at your performance. I thought it was absolutely dire. I didn't expect that. I really did not expect that. Even with QPR fighting for their lives, I did not expect that. I mean, Brad, you've got to say, surely that the momentum's with Ipswich now.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% with Ipswich. They've got the game in hand. And they're in the exact same position that Leicester were before they played their game in hand in Southampton. And this is the only way, for me, a game in hand is of any advantage to a side. And that is, you've got the impetus. You know, we were top. We were a couple of points clear. The win was going to really open what has turned out to be the crucial gap, going level on games with them, and kept the pressure on them. And now, you know, Leicester fans obviously will be more happier with the result than Ipswich fans, but Ipswich fans will be just as happy in the sense that they now know a win in their game in hand tomorrow night, it completely ruins, you know, Leeds' season. You know, we could end up, Chris, with only one of the three relegated sides coming back up if the playoffs go wrong, if Ipswich take that second place. And now, you know, it's stark contrast, Chris. We've been asking ourselves for about 4 or 5 weeks now, which one of the two out of the three, well, it was four for a while, if we still include Southampton in it, we're saying which one of the four is actually going to grab the ball by the horns and actually take this promotion seriously and get over the line. Leicester have done that tonight. You know, I still feel even if it wasn't done tonight, we'd win Monday anyway. I know we could argue a toss on Monday about it because it's kind of irrelevant in a sense, but now I'd fancy Ipswich for it. Look at Southampton's capitulation against Cardiff, against us. Leeds tonight, like you said, you could lose a game and kind of go, oh, gutted, we've lost a game where they went at it, we went at it. Leeds and Southampton, look at their performances against who they played in the last few days, Chris, side by side, and tell me the difference. You couldn't spot it. They didn't do anything to look like they were going to take anything from Loftus Road tonight.
No, I mean, it was an early goal, and then I must admit, I thought, yeah, here we go. 82 minutes, I'm going to have to sit on the edge of my seat here. Then they got the second, and I did say when they got the second, well, you know, a third would kill them off. I never expected 4.
No. In fact, Luke nearly got a bonus 20 points. He must be gutted that they didn't get a fifth.
I know. No, nobody went. Well, fair enough with Luke. I was kind of wishing for a fifth, just for Luke's sake.
Well, the weird thing is, Chris, I predicted there'd be 4 goals. I just gave Leeds the gratitude of 2 goals, which is, you know, they never look like scoring. We've said this on occasion tonight or this season with Leicester. You know, Leeds could have played for another 90 minutes and they wouldn't have got 1, let alone the 4 or 5 that they needed to turn that game around. It's ridiculous. It's a concerning performance if you're a Leeds fan to know that you're most likely now, and it's still not guaranteed it will be them, but you're most likely taking on either Norwich or Hull in May. I mean, Chris, I'd have to ask a fan of Leeds and Southampton, how, you know, we've talked about transfers already because we're promoted. We know certain ones we could potentially activate with Fatwa and Atkin. How must Leeds fans be feeling about some of their players thinking, oh, well, we've now got another 3 weeks to wait before we know where we are. We've got another 3 weeks before we know if he wants to leave or not, because so-and-so said they're only going to stay if we get promoted. That's something Leicester can now start to deal with and not have to worry about for another 4 weeks or so, isn't it, Chris? That's the extra.
It is. Saying hi to Mike. Welcome along, mate. Man United and Newport, a bit of a mix there for you, but I know you follow football everywhere, basically. I mean, were you as shocked by that Leeds performance as? Oh, you probably enjoyed that Leeds performance, being a Man United fan, but were you as shocked by it as we were?
Shocked at the scoreline, but not entirely shocked that QPR could do that, because QPR are the type of team that, no matter how bad they've been this season, the sort of new revelation under their new coaching system has been a lot better. I think they've only dropped like 15, 16 points out of the last like 12, 13 games, 14 games, something like that, which is incredible. They've taken an incredible amount of points to go and smash, well, the third best team in the league, but to go and smash a team like Leeds 4-0, like, you don't expect that as a team like that. You expect to get an early goal, and don't expect it, but if you get an early goal, shut up shop, defend for your lives, because that's, although this result has promoted Leicester, that is also 3 big points to keep in QPR in the division.
They're guaranteed. QPR can't go down now.
Guaranteed, yeah. So kept them in the league, and also sent you up. So I bet you're buzzing that they're staying up for another season after what they've done for you tonight. But
I like you, and I'm not just saying this because of tonight. QPR as a club, I mean, I love the ground. It's a real old-fashioned, ground. You don't see many like that now. And just as a club, whether it goes back to, I remember Stan Bowles and what have you, and I just like QPR. I've just had a message here, by the way. I'll read this out. Hello, Chris. Hope you're well and congrats on promotion tonight. Don't suppose you have time to send us a quick voice note on here with some reaction when you get a moment. We're hoping to get some fans' voices for our Capital Smooth Radio East Midlands news bulletins in the morning. Just 1 to 2 minutes would be enough. Problem I have with that is only 1 or 2 minutes. I don't think I can keep it down.
Offer it to me. Don't offer it to me. He'll get an audio book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Brad's 1 or 2 minutes. It's a 2-hour show.
Yes.
We've seen that all season.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, it's been a while, so it's nice to have you back on. But your thoughts on Leicester this season and having Leicester to play next season?
Well, not really having to play, because you always seem to fucking do us 1 or 2 times a season, whether it's at the King Power or derail hopes for whatever ambition we. Well, I don't know what the ambition will be for next season, but top 10 hopefully. But in terms of you this season, I think it was a really weird season. Like at one point, you were 16, 17 points clear. Looked like you were going to absolutely blitz the division like what Burnley did last season. But then, you come through a sticky patch, and then the questions were asked: can Leicester get through this? Is there an element of lack of being in this? Well, you haven't been in the Championship for 10 years, I think, something like that, 9-10 years.
Yeah.
So there was that whole we've not been in this situation for a long, long time. We don't know. We haven't got used to the graft of Saturday, Tuesday. Horrible, horrible teams to play, like Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday. Birmingham. So you're very used to the top in the elite in the Premier League, then the mid-table, and then the sort of rubbish lot. But the fact that you have come through this sort of sticky period, I mean, that performance against Southampton was wow. Like that was probably one of your performances of the season that I've watched personally. I know you may have had a better performance throughout the season, but from what I saw, I think that even eclipsed the 4-1 at St Mary's. I think it was 4-1. I think that even eclipsed that.
It was them beating us twice last season. We had to do it over them this season.
Yeah, and fingers crossed they get promoted, because I would love it to be you, Ipswich, and Southampton personally, for obvious reasons, and keep them in the division for one more season to slog it out.
That is the 3 I want to go up, because I think Ipswich deserve it, because they've absolutely been. McKenna deserved the manager of the season. He was one of the guys I wanted before we got Enzo, and I think they proved right for once. I want Southampton because they're only down the road from me. We've not asked you this, Brad, and I know you're going to say, well, let's just get there first. But who do you want? You don't care who comes up, but Who do you the two that you want to come up with us? Come on.
I want
Now
Ipswich
you've
to
come
come
to the
up.
mast.
I want Ipswich to come up because they're a little like Leicester in the sense underdog story. I've been saying for a long time this season. I mean, kind of like Leicester with the Premier League in a little way. We all expect them to fall away. They were going to drop to the playoffs and maybe even drop out of the playoffs. I mean, I think at one stage they lost and draw a couple, and they did drop to third. So it's like, oh, this is it. This is where they keep dropping. They haven't done it. I think given the squad, given the quality, cheeky fact that that's another bit of Leicester's come up with him will come up with him because obviously the Leicester player Lee Hurst, is it Lee Hurst? Was it whatever? Not Lee Hurst, Jeff Hurst or whatever his name was.
Jeff Hurst.
I don't know. He has got a name like that, but it's spelled HRST.
George Hurst.
George Jeff John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Jeff Hurst was in 1966.
I know. He's the only member of that team that's still alive, bless him. I have actually, I've got to be honest with you, just to drop, I've actually got a signed picture of me with him up on my wall. But George Hurst, yes.
And promotion-wise, playoff-wise.
I love that. I'm going to clip that.
Hello, cheers. Promotion-wise, I don't want Leeds to get it just for the lols. But for the majority of their fans, I would say, see, they're all a bit boring, aren't they? Really, if you think about it. Leeds been in there a while before. Southampton stinking out.
Hull would be an interesting one.
If Hull sneak in, I want Hull to go up. But given the top six as it is, I mean, if you want to guarantee we've only got two teams to beat next season and be better than, then send Norwich up because they'll go straight back down like a bride's knickers on a wedding night, as Chris would say. So I don't know, Chris. I'm not really asked either.
To get in there. We've got 3 games left, 72. No, but they need Norwich to lose all the remaining games. So mathematically, they still could Coventry, but in real terms, they're not. So who is it? So is Ipswich and who? Sorry,
going off the top 6, Norwich, just because they'll be going down, so we have to be better than 2 other teams because we know Norwich will come bottom. They always do. I'll take Norwich out of the current top 6. I want Hull to win their game in hand or whatever and catch up and overtake them personally and have them up. But yeah, Ipswich and Norwich.
Mike. I was talking to Jack from Matchday Vlogs, which was a Southampton channel, and he was saying 84 points they've got. Normally, that would probably guarantee you second. You've got 3 teams that are potentially going to end up on 90. Well, 2 definitely, but 3 teams on 90 points, and only 2 of those are going up. I mean, it's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, the quality in the league, even if you look towards the bottom of the league, we could have like teams going down with 40 plus points. But in terms of the teams, well, a team will miss out on automatic promotion. Obviously, the team that gets on 90 points and ends in the playoffs could still go up. But, to have 3 teams on 90 plus points in a league, what the championship is, competitive, every game is competitive. It just shows you that Southampton, to an extent, I'd say them 4, but especially Leicester, Leeds, and Ipswich have just, apart from like the last few weeks where all 3 of you have, dropped points at different moments, but those 3 have just shown that they're too good. Actually, Leicester and Ipswich have shown that they're too good for the championship this season. Just keep Leeds in there, but yeah, the standard at the top is incredible, and that's full credit to you guys. Because you were that far clear, then like the gap started to close and you were worrying, but you've got the job done. So at the end of the day,
I have to take a picture of this. Oh no, it's gone off now. It's just showing on Sky Sports News, Leicester City promoted. Oh, it just sounds so good. Let's go get the
hindsight is an incredible thing, but at the start of the season, I was like, surely Leicester, like the size of the club, the players that you've got in there, internationals all over the pitch in terms of Ndidi, Ricardo Pereira, Face, like the quality in the team, at the start of the season.
Leicester guard. Don't forget the Great Dane.
Daka as well. I know Luke won't be happy with that, but yeah, Daka, the Zambian international. But yeah, at the start of the season, you look at the team and you're like, surely they are going to get promoted. And then you look at the end and you're like, well, we were just all right. hate to say it, we were just all geniuses.
Brad, look, it would have been so boring if we'd got promoted about 10 weeks ago, wouldn't it? I mean, it would have been, the season would have been over. Nobody would have been able to enjoy it. We just like to keep it exciting for everybody else and sort of, keep it going, the fight.
Yeah, we'd be very Man City-esque of us to have the title wrapped up halfway through a season. And we're a nice team. We like to give others a chance. It's why we signed Akinbaye that season, because we wanted to make goalkeepers feel better by missing the target so many times.
Yeah.
So why not? At the end of the day, look, we know where we were. We know what nearly happened. But guess what? Football isn't done on ifs, ands, and buts or coconuts. It's done on what happens at the end of it. And would it have been nice to have done it in February, March time? Of course it would have been. Would it have been nice to have broken the Reading record? Of course it would have been. Do I really care that we've not done it? Maybe a little bit, but not really overall. I'm just happy that whether it's been tonight, whether it had been 3 months ago, Chris, that is above my head, may I just say. But it's above our heads that Leicester City have got the promotion that they're. And again, like Ipswich, if they do it, they've got the promotion they deserve, Chris. Because minus that blip, we have been far and away the best side in this division. Oh, sorry. Behind Leeds, who are ironically behind us, but they are obviously, we all know they're really the best side in the whole entire world.
They're coming for us, Brad.
A bit like
They'll
Tottenham.
make you think that.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't know. Can you see them? Because they're just joined the back of the Tottenham queue, because they're still after us, aren't they, Chris?
Yes, yeah. Russ is in. He's a Leeds fan, gutted, but inexcusable. We've absolutely lost the plot. Well done, Leicester, for play. You've earned it. Thank you very much, Russ. A very nice thing of you, and very, very nice of you to say that on a night like this, when I know, and look, I've been a Leicester fan long enough to know how the other side feels, and you must, at that performance, you must be absolutely fuming. I'm sure the Leeds channels are lighting up tonight. Vardy to stay. Well, yes, he's in talks, isn't he? Ipswich and Southampton, because that's 12 points for us next year. Yeah, I mean, you say 12 points, but you can probably add another 6 on that, because, of course, we're going to be playing Man United as well, Mike.
Yeah, the way that's going, anyone fancies their chances, don't they? So, bring it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that.
Just pack the bus and you'll get something. That's all teams have to do. Can't break
Ben is a Leeds fan, gutted after Leeds falling apart tonight, but congrats, Leicester. Ipswich will do it and deserve it. Thank you again, Ben. Look, there are some decent Leeds fans out there. That just shows there are some nice ones. To be honest with you, mate, I can't even think about who we'd like to sign next season. Rashford, because he's not happy, is he? Look, it's been a roller coaster of the season. It's absolutely nothing less. I'm going to have to ask you, Mike, because I don't know this, so I'm not being sarcastic, and I hope it's not going to be bad news. But your other team, Newport, obviously, was it this season we met you? It was, wasn't it?
Last
season, was it? Right.
Yeah.
How are Newport doing? I think you were in trouble not so long ago.
No, we actually confirmed safety mid-February, I think, and then from Easter Monday, our season was dead, because I think from that point we were like 14 points off the playoffs, and we've just 7 defeats in a row. But I think the players have down-tooled, which is frustrating when you pay lots of money to go and watch them and just see them walk around like they don't give a crap. But I'm actually going. I'm not even watching the Newport game tomorrow. I'm going to a different non-league game, because non-league players bloody care about football rather than these people that are on mega bucks. So
we are going to miss that when we go back up. Brad, I mean, Staint says here, you worry too much. Relax. Next season is a champagne season. I see top 12. I don't, Brad.
I see 17th.
I see dead people.
17th place would be absolutely fantastic. You know, I would take that. Whether, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it will be a tough season. We're not going to get carried away. We know we're going to have our expectations.
Well,
If we
we'll,
can get
we'll have a couple of days of getting carried away up till Monday night.
Of course we will. When we, you know, when we
beat us now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when we open up the Premier League fixture list on a Friday night and we're 3-0 up at Old Trafford, thanks to Fatwood, then we'll get excited. But until then, you know, we're just going to take it as it is. And if we get 17th, brilliant. If we have anything higher than bottom half finish, Chris, will be a fantastic season for Leicester next season. Anything that's below 17th will be disappointing, but we will be expecting it still. So unless we go and Derby County it, I can't see a scenario where Leicester fans won't sit there and not have enjoyed the season to a degree, if that makes sense.
They've just put the table up on Sky. And I know I asked earlier when I asked what the P meant next to your team, but what does it mean when there's a gold line behind your team?
Well, usually that means championships, but for the way they've done it is just to secure that we cannot.
I was being facetious.
Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe that was from The Simpsons. They predicted it to come. So who knows?
Who knows? Look, guys, I could be here till 3 a.m. talking because I'm just hyper at the moment. There's no way I'm going to go to sleep, but I'm sure you guys have got better things to do. Mike, thanks very much for joining us, mate. Do you still do the darts?
No, not really. I'd rather watch it, to be honest. And I've noticed since a certain 17-year-old has broken through, you get idiots start commenting on the new wave of darts fans. So I'll let all that die down for a couple of months, and then I'll start doing content again because there's too many trolls on there at the moment. So I'll just leave it for now.
Do give us a shout out as to where people can find you, though.
Not in the prison cell, as previously alluded to on the shows. But
I wasn't going to say that.
Mike Green on YouTube. I'm doing a match vlog tomorrow for a non-league game. So yeah, do check it out, and make sure you check out Chris and Leicester Till I Die too, as well. Great content, and great to see you back in the Premier League. Can't speak. Congratulations.
Thank you, and we look forward to the matches next season. Take care, guys. Oh, brother, I can't speak. Take
just
care,
living on the wave.
Yeah, I could float home. Cheers, buddy. Take care.
Cheers, bye.
We're going to have to go because others say, like I say, Brad, if you don't tell me you've got to go, I'll still be here at 3 a.m. But Will says 55 years a Leeds fan. Nothing surprising me with Leeds. But the Wembley women, a great what? Gargle will heal the wounds. Okay, later, gents. All the best, mate. All the best. Bronze Plumber is all the foxes. Happy days, he says. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Who remembers that, eh? With the Cunninghams and the Fonz. Yeah.
Hey,
that was it. you do a better. Sorry, I may have given you the wrong impression there. Bum. Cheers, Saint and Mike. Yeah, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Brad, LTID DV2, tell us about it.
Well, it's the home of LCFC's WSL women's side, who had secured safety a long time ago, thanks to an impressive start and midway of the season. They have missed out on FA Cup final. Boo, hiss. Blame Tottenham for that. It might be the only time a Tottenham fan sees a silverware because they're in the final, but there we go. But LTID TV2 is the home of all things LCFC women and the Leicester City very own edition of what I call the football pyramid for copyright reasons. But yeah, it's an LCFC quiz that we'll be doing a lot of through the off season. So if you want to show your love and support to another Leicester City channel, please head on over there and subscribe and give me your love and support there. Appreciate all of it.
The link is always in the description below for that channel. Just going to read this out from Mr. Jeff Peters, who works for TalkSport and is a huge Leicester City fan. We've had him on the channel before. He posted this an hour ago. Don't worry right now about next season. Don't worry about potential player sales, transfer embargoes, points deductions, hammerings, relegation, etc. Don't worry if fans of other clubs whine about Leicester's promotion. It doesn't matter. Just enjoy the moment. And I think that is a great way to end the show.
It is. And tell you what, great timing here, Chris.
Hey, what, sorry?
So I didn't know, with the end of Peter's statement you read out, this comment came up. So I just popped it up on screen. And to anyone else that cares, chat the proverbial
get banged. As my tattoo says there. There you go. Look at that. There we go. That'll teach me to get drunk and post something up on Facebook, won't it? Thank you very much, Brad. I'm going to be back tomorrow night at 7:45 for the Hull Ipswich. I don't know if that can, if Hull beat Ipswich, does that guarantee us the champions?
I will do the math for you, Chris.
I know. I'm always worried when Brad's doing the maths.
Shut up. Right. Ipswich have technically 3 games left of the season. If they lose that, Leicester City will be 5 points clear of Ipswich, but they will have 6 points to play for. But not mathematically. But then Ipswich also have Coventry to play in their other catch-up game. So anything other than at least one win from Ipswich in their next 2 games would also give Leicester City the title. Of course, Chris, Leicester probably put that out of their own hands if they win on Monday night, because they would keep a 5-point gap over them with 1 game to go. So yeah, it looks all but done in terms of promotion. Our job is done. I hope
Mike just said here, though, if we beat Preston, then we will win the league.
Yeah, because then Ipswich can't catch us up regardless. So win on Monday, it's done. Ipswich don't win, then it won't technically be there, but it will be on virtues of the fact that...
And like I said before, didn't I? I said, I don't know whether we've just got promoted or won the league away at Bolton with Lloyd Dyer, but we have a habit of doing these things away on an evening game.
Yeah, we do. And like someone said earlier, it's always nice when we're waiting on a game in London to finish to see if we have to celebrate early or kick the ball again. And both times so far, 100% success rate. We've watched a game in London and we've not had to bother about kicking the ball.
No.
So that'd be great. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be an interesting one for you because, like you said, as I have to scroll past, for some reason, I don't understand that you have to scroll past the Scottish Premier League on BBC to get to the Championship. But yeah, 8 o'clock, Chris, a defeat Leeds would all but do it for Leicester. And then actually, I think they'd only need a point against Preston on the Monday. So even bigger chance for us to end the season on a high.
Well,
and then, of course,
I had no plans to do anything tonight. And then Spencer messaged me and said, "Are you doing a watch along tonight?" And I suddenly thought, hang on a second. And then, of course, I was telling you to keep the prediction league short so I could start. And then I realised I was coming in and making comments which were slowing you down.
I had to tell him off, folks. I had to tell him off. I had to tell him he wasn't just a Messiah. He was being a very naughty boy.
I was. I was being very naughty.
I did it with time to spare. Well, just about, didn't I, Chris?
I was impressed, mate. I was absolutely. It was almost as impressive as the speed at which Dave left the show.
I know he was gone before I had a chance to say anything.
I know. But great, Brad. Look, as I say, all very last minute. Thank you very much for coming on. I'm glad I did this now because it's great to celebrate with other fans. Jeff has just popped in, just got up, and what a weekend. Congratulations to Enzo and our players. You didn't watch that game, Jeff? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do. For your punishment, Jeff, get over to Leicester Till I Die TV1 and watch it on catch-up, because I did a watch-along for it. Where were you? Mike, thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Thank everybody that was in. Thanks to Mike for coming on, to Dan from Turf Moorhouse, who hopefully we might be playing next season, from Doug from the Dugout Football Channel. Good luck to Liverpool, but I think that they've blown it now. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody that's been listening on your favourite podcast platform. If you're watching this on catch up, do stick your comments in below. Thanks to the Leeds fans. A couple of Leeds fans came in at the end there and said, congratulations, which was nice to see. You don't know, Leeds, you could still be playing us next season. But that's it. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:45 for Hull City versus Ipswich, just to enjoy it, really. Until then, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.